Greetings, YouTube. This is Quinn, and I'm back, and this is a review of the Pixel XL. No, it's been a long time since I made a review. Sorry about that. Still trying to decide how I want to be full-time doing this, or just still kind of a hobby, and just trying to decide how far or how deep I want to get into making videos. So I do a lot of other stuff. But anyway, on to the review. The Pixel XL. It's Google's first phone. Well, they had the Nexus phones, of course, but this is supposedly their first phone where they're attempting to be controlled completely of the hardware and the software, sort of like Apple, which is something I've always wanted them to do. But anyway, I won't get too far into that. About the phone, I really like the phone a lot. I've had every previous Google phone when they called them Nexus, and I've always liked those, but I have to say this is probably the best one. You know, even better than the 6P, which was a really nice phone. The only thing that I probably don't like about it, the phone, is, and you probably heard a lot of other YouTubers speak on this, is the bezel. Seems like they could have still added a front-facing speaker down here, and at least one at the top, or had one firing from the top and had added one to the bezel. But the single speaker at the bottom is pretty loud, so I mean that's not a deal breaker. And I usually listen to earphones, excuse me, or headpieces like Bluetooth. So I normally don't listen to the speakers. You know, I don't even use the speakerphone that much. But anyway, to the phone, you know, you have the nice unlock feature that they introduced on the Nexus 6P with the fingerprint on the back. The 6P and the Nexus 5X, which is something some people don't like that, but I actually kind of like it. I think it is a kind of a natural feeling. The only thing, if you use a lot of phones like I do, especially if you go back and forth between Android and Apple, if you get used to using it one way, I get used to using it one way after using the iPhone for a while, I will find myself putting my finger right here trying to unlock it, and vice versa when I'm using the iPhone. But I'm primarily an Android user. Really, that's where most of my apps are. And I have a lot of similar apps on iOS, but I'm primarily a Google services user, so this is why I really like this phone a great deal. So right now I'm using the stock launcher, and one of the things that is different is I usually, after a while, I'll try the Google launcher, and then I'll eventually go to the Nova launcher and do my own customizations. But I really like the stock launcher this time, and I've always liked it, but I didn't like the persistent Google search bar that was across every single screen. Well, now they have a new type of a search bar with just this little button right here, but they don't have, you know, the search bar all the way across, and they have the weather. You can choose between the weather. Actually, now it used to be just the date, but now it's the weather after it refreshes. And I like it. I kind of like the way it looks. You know, I think it looks clean. I've always liked to have the weather and time at the top. So I like this little widget. Or it's not really a widget because it's permanent, so you can't really change it. But I like it. I like having the weather right here. You know, you can click on the weather and view the, you know, forecast for today and for the week. So, and then it'll refresh. Sometimes it won't refresh. But I like the look of it. Some people don't like it, but at least it's not persistent across every screen, and you can use all your other screens for whatever else you want to have, you know. So it's actually pretty neat. So right now I'm sticking with the Pixel launcher, as they call it. Another thing that I like about the Pixel is it's really fast and smooth. You know, it's hardly no glitch to it. I mean, it's locked up a few times. I've been using this thing for probably a couple of months now, and I think when it did lock up, it may have been trying to update. You know, they say that they have a new deal where it updates in the background, and I did get security patch level update in November, I believe November 5th. But as you see, as I'm using it now, it's actually running pretty good. And you can see this is my last update. Security patch level was number the 5th. So I'm thinking it may have been doing something in the background, or it may have been an app, because I did uninstall a few apps and it went back to running really nice and smooth, you know. But it was stuttering a little bit. The Google, the way they do things is a little different than the way Apple does it. And then they have the card system where everything slides up and down. And as you can see, here's the new app drawer, which is really neat. I kind of like that, you know, and it works really good and fluid. And then, you know, you have, I use a lot of Google, so anything you search for, like search for something on the election, and it'll just come up. Anything they think you're interested in with Google. Of course, I'm a Chiefs fan, so got to see the unfortunate score of them losing to the Bucks. But anyway, then you have all the standings, and it just, you know, I've always liked Google because, you know, I mean, some people say it's some privacy issues because they know so much about you, and I can understand that, but excuse me. So far, it's worked pretty good for me, you know, using all the Google services. The camera, which is what everybody likes to talk about, works really well. And I'm not a big camera person, but I have taken pictures with this device, phone, and I really like it. The pictures are really good. Here's a low light picture of my car with the winter tires on, with the all season. And this was taken at night in a dark area, like the dark parking lot at a restaurant I go to, and it actually did very well. So here's another picture I took at a theater, also in the evening where it was kind of dark. It came out pretty good. A few pictures of my house, which I don't know if I should be showing, but you know, pictures are really good on this. I've taken a lot of pictures on it. Not a whole lot, but most of the pictures I've taken have been in my car. So, you know, few times. Here's a picture of an area in Georgia, in Atlanta, by Georgia Tech. Actually, right across the street from Georgia Tech. So, whoops. But most of them have comes out pretty good. You can see the phone, the way it operates. It's real snappy. You have the recent apps drawer, and you can clear it all now. And only thing I don't like about this, I like that you can clear them all, but I wish they would put it at the bottom like other phones. So I don't know if that's an issue and something the other phones, maybe they have a patent on that. I don't know why Google would put it at the top like that, where you have to reach all the way up and clear it. So I kind of don't like that. Another thing that I like is the multi-window. And I guess I should open some apps just so I can show you how it works, since I just closed all of them. The multi-window is pretty cool. And I just saw this movie. It's pretty good. It's something that I don't use a lot. But basically you just kind of hold on to one app. You long press. Well, how's it go? Long press, and then you drag up, and then you have split screen. And sometimes it'll say app may not work in split screen, but it still works. And see, I have the Flickster app, with movie app, and Google Chrome at the same time. And then you can just, you know, click that little symbol to go to another one. You know, clear all, and it just clears those, and then it still opens the app that you had. So I don't know you know, I don't know a lot about it. I don't use it a lot, but when I have used it, it's been very useful. So it's pretty neat. And I had the Note 7 and other notes, and you know, Samsung's had that for a while, and I didn't even use it that much on that. So, but I'm glad Android included it because a lot of people like that. The storage, I have the 32 gig model because the 128 was really hard to get. there's a few times that I could have got it, but that's gonna go into one thing that I guess another negative that I don't like about the phone, and that's the price. Uh, I paid $769 for this, and this is only a 32, and they only make a 32 and 128, and the 128 is always out of stock. So I would have to buy a 128 and then try to sell this, which I'm probably not gonna get the money. Android is a decent platform. I like it, but it never resells as much as the iPhone. So I would lose money. So that's a negative, the price, and then just not being able to get the storage that I want. Right now, this is the new settings area, which is kind of neat. At least, on storage, they show you how much you're using and what you have left. Your total capacity and what you have left right here. And then you can go in deeper and it calculates everything. And then once it shows what's everything, all the stuff, what each of these items are using or how much storage is using, you can explore, basically go into their file manager. So that's kind of neat. I like that. And you have a little sidebar. There's something else in settings that I like too. In settings, you can swipe over and then, you can go in and go to different areas in settings that way. So that's kind of neat. Something different. Excuse me. But just a little small changes, and that's all pretty kind of part of Android 7.1 or 7 is some of those things in the settings that I showed you. But overall, really, really nice phone. It takes great pictures. Battery life is really, really good. Still, I would say it's on par with the iPhone. I think the iPhone still has better standby where it drains slower as it's sitting. I think I did a test where I took both of them off the charger at 100%. Both of them had 100%, and I left them overnight. And then overnight, the iPhone was still on 100%. Probably like 6-7 hours later, it was still on 100%, and the Pixel was on 96%. So that's not bad. That's still not bad. So that's probably the difference. The iPhone, it'll sit for a few days, and the Pixel will too, but just not quite as long. So, but overall, it's a really, really good phone. The best Android phone as far as operation and smoothness. And I would actually say it's even just as smooth as the iPhone, or if not smoother in some areas, because the iPhone, for some reason, I don't know, it doesn't run like it used to as far as the software experience. And a lot of people don't talk about that. There's a YouTuber, I don't know if I should say his name, but that I watch, but he that's one of his pet peeves about the iPhone is the software experience and how it jitters, and it's not as smooth like it used to be, especially before the iPhone iOS 7. iOS 7. Right now it's on iOS 10.11, I believe. So, but I'll be doing a separate review on the iPhone, I guess, and then maybe have a Pixel iPhone comparison, because I switch back and forth, but I mainly use, Android, especially since this phone came out. I use all the Google stuff. I use Google Music, the cloud, and I've been trying to, basically Google's forced me to use it. I'm kind of giving in because I usually like to get as much of storage as possible. I don't mind them leaving out the SD card. I don't mind that at all, as long as they give you enough storage and make it all available. Don't make one of it two sizes, 32 and 128, and then you can see that the 128 is selling out. So most people want that size. You would think they would make their supply to meet that, but I don't know how that works. Maybe they are and they're just selling a lot. But I like at least iOS, or Apple, excuse me. They give you, a lot, as much storage as you want, even though they push their cloud services. My iPhone is a 256, which that's probably overkill for some people, but I like the saying it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So, if they made a 256 in the Google Pixel, I definitely would have gotten it, But anyway, that's just my pet peeve. But really nice. I mean, like I said, it's a really nice phone. I love it. I like all the Google services. Another thing I wanted to sneak in about the Google Pixel is another change, and this is basically in Android Nougat 7.1, and at 7 also, is you can have a different lock screen wallpaper and home screen wallpaper, which that's pretty neat. So you go into wallpapers, and they have all these nice, neat wallpapers now. The Live Earth, which is really cool. And the only thing about that, I wish they had more of them. They only have like what you see here on the screen. I hope is there some way they can update and add more because I really like that. Right now, the wallpaper I have is my daily wallpaper, and it's basically landscapes, and it switches every day to a different landscape. So that's pretty neat. It's something new that they have, and I really like. But the live wallpaper, Live Earth, and new elements, all these wallpapers are really nice. And that's one addition that they did in Android Nougat that I really like, to be able to have a different lock screen and home page wallpaper. Also, you have restart. It used to be never in stock Android, you can just power it off and power it back on. So now you can at least restart it. I wish there was a way maybe you could probably still include going into the bootloader and other places, but that's a little more than what normal people do. But anyway, those are just a few additions in Android Nougat that I just wanted to include. The Google Assistant works really good. See. Let me see if I can give it a different demonstration without screwing up. What gender is a calico cat?
Gender, the state of being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones.
Okay, that's not what I asked, but anyway, see, a cat that is called a calico cat is usually what gender?
Wikipedia has this result.
Okay. What's the population of Washington, D.C.?
The population of Washington, D.C. was 658,900 in 2014.
What's the ratio of male to female?
According to the Daily Caller, Washington has 112 women for every 100 minutes, the highest female-to-male ratio in the country. According to the head of one social networking group, speed dating gatherings for college-educated singles sell around 50% more tickets in D.C. than in the majority of other U.S. cities.
Okay. It seems to understand me a lot better than Siri does on iOS's assistant, so, I like that. But anyway, I think I did talk about battery life. Yeah, the standby, like I said, is not quite as good as the iPhone, but as far as battery life and using it day to day, I can pretty much get through the whole day. Sometimes 16, 17-hour days and still have like probably 60% left, 50% maybe at sometimes, sometimes. But, so the battery's pretty good. It'll get through the day easily, very easily. And then even if you forget to charge it, like say you go to bed and if I go to bed, the battery is like 71%, and then I wake up, it may be at 69 or something like that. So, then you plug it to the charger and USB-C charging, and it charges pretty fast. Not as fast as the charger that's on the OnePlus 3. That's probably the fastest I've seen, but pretty decent. And the closer you get to your charging point to 100%, it slows down, but it's fast. It's pretty fast enough. So I don't know. In closing, I guess I should say I really, I like this phone a lot. It's not a lot, it's not real fancy. A lot of people don't like this plastic area with aluminum, but I don't mind it. I really wanted the very blue, but I think I like this one actually better. Kind of a brushed aluminum feel. The design, I mean, the feel of it doesn't feel as quite as nice as the iPhone, especially if you get the very black one, jet black one like I have. But it's pretty decent enough. I mean, it's enough. It's good enough for me. I haven't did a review in a while, so I need to get back into it and get used to it. I hope you enjoyed it. I had uploaded a video of a video example of the Pixel. I may do another one of my car just to give you a good example of how it takes videos, but it actually is really good so far that I've seen as far as videos and the stabilization and everything. But look for maybe another upload of a Pixel, a review, not a review, but just a review of the camera, and the video taking capability of it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informational for you. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.